Hi, loves. My name is Cyan or Hylian Cream on my socials, and I'm a Janome maker. And for today's little tutorial, I wanted to show you guys how to enhance your cosplay through embroidery by making 3D embroidery appliques with craft foam. And for today, we will be using my Skyline S9 from Janome. So you're probably thinking to yourself, craft foam on an embroidery unit, I'm going to break my machine. But you would be thoroughly surprised how squishy, soft, and just in general, sewable craft foam is. Cosplayers have been sewing on craft foam to give their finished edges of their costumes a more sewn look, especially when making fake leather pieces out of their craft foam. And so, if we can sew on it, why not embroider on it? So typically the past few years I've been embroidering, I've been utilizing felt for stuff like felt berets or for my backing of some of my cosplay embroidery projects to get more of a puffed up effect. And while it does help in somewhat, especially if the felt is being used in the final design, I actually found it wasn't as puffy as something like craft foam. So follow me on this tutorial today and let's make some really cool pieces for our cosplay. For this, I'll be using 2mm craft foam, organza fabric, tearaway stabilizer, and my embroidery thread of choice. You can also optionally have a drawing tablet. I just have a Samsung tablet with a free drawing program and a embroidery digitizing software that you can transfer these designs to and create your own designs for your costume. Right now, you can see that I'm going in my software and using my reference image, and I am tracing it to get the exact shape that I will be then transferring to my digitizing software. Next, we'll be moving on to inserting your design into your digitizing software of choice. Here I'm going ahead and inserting mine and doing all the necessary steps to get it ready to be digitized. And finally, I just need to work on resizing this. That way I can get it into the hoop that will fit my machine and getting it to the size I need for my costume. A little transition to our embroidery unit on the Skyline S9, and I will be using the largest embroidery hoop that the machine has, which is 6.7 by 7.9. Next, we'll be cutting out all of our materials. I decided to go ahead and make mine all larger than the hoop size. That way I had a little bit hanging out extra just to be safe, but you can always cut it to the exact size to save on material. Here I'll be laying down my tearaway stabilizer and then the organza over it, and then I will go ahead and hoop these like normal. Next, we will be putting the craft foam over the hoop and using these magnetic clips that come with the unit to clip the foam over the other two pieces over the hoop. So now we're going to move on to finding the design in our unit. Make sure that with any Janome machine, you are changing it to the JEF or JEF file type so your machine can register it. Once everything's found, I'm going to go ahead and insert the hoop into the embroidery unit. And then I'm going to move on to threading the machine with my desired embroidery threads. And we're ready to go. It can be really scary looking at this and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to break a needle. It's going to get stuck. But like I said earlier, you would be so surprised how well craft foam takes to being sewn over. And I had absolutely no issues sewing this. So enjoy a few minutes of the embroidery being done on this and how smooth and simple it went. Okay, so now we're going to move on to unhooping everything and getting the design out so we can get ready to tear away the tearaway stabilizer and the foam. So don't get afraid of this part. Just go ahead and start ripping that foam off and watch your 3D puff embroidery design come to life. It's honestly so satisfying getting to tear this away, and it's actually kind of fun. So we're going to move on to cutting it. And while this time I didn't use it, I do actually recommend using a wood burner to cut out any embroidered pieces like I did here a few months ago. But for this project, I decided to opt out just to use some good old scissors to cut out the design. Make sure to cut as closely to the embroidered design without actually clipping any of the embroidered threads. That way you get as clean and smooth of a embroidered design without any of the organza showing. And finally, I'll be using a lighter to get all the little edges all nice and cleaned up and any foam off or any threads. And I went ahead and pinned it onto my coat before I sewed it on, and I'm just so excited to have this 3D vinyl popping on my costume. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I really do hope this helps you out on some of your next cosplay projects, and maybe you can give it a try. Let us know how it goes. Bye!